Thank you for tuning into the Electric Church Podcast. My name is Craig. I am the founder and host of the Electric Church Podcast. And on this episode, I was joined by Mr. Jonathan Howard, who spent, I believe, 20 plus years as a vegan and has now reincorporated meat and animal products back into his diet. And so I met him at the cafe here, and he was a vegan at the time and has since ventured into eating meat. So I just wanted to have a conversation with him about his journey into veganhood and then back out of it. So I want to thank John for coming in. He was super, super nervous. He had a hard time talking on the mic, which I can relate to. I was probably 6 episodes in before I felt comfortable. So I can relate to that. So he was very fidgety, and stammers a bit and whatnot, but I really appreciated him coming in and was glad he came in and talked to me. So kindly just forgive him for his I don't know, like he hits the mic a bunch of times and he just kind of rambles and gets lost. But again, we appreciated him coming in, so thanks, and here we go. All right. Thank you for tuning into the Electric Church Podcast. My name is Craig, and I am joined here today by John. John, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, yeah, I'm John.
I'm right next to that mic.
All right.
Brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Hey, yeah, I'm John. I am on here to talk, I guess, about my journey with veganhood, right? That's the plan?
Yeah, that's kind of what I had you on here for. And you understand we're recording this conversation and give me permission to put it on YouTube
Absolutely.
and any other public
for sure.
podcast. All right, well, go ahead and start your journey.
Yeah, so I'm here to talk about being vegan, or have been being vegan. I was a vegan for 20 years, and about a year and a couple months ago, I quit. So, I guess my whole journey started out when I was in college.
Where'd you go to college?
St. Cloud State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was, being a college kid, listening to that CD "No Cure for Cancer" by Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
And it was a part where he talks about not killing the cute animals, not eating the cute animals, and I'm like, hey, I guess that kind of makes sense. I was at an opportunity at a college buffet to have some rabbit stew, and at that moment, I think I decided, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to eat the cute animals, and I'll skip that rabbit stew.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's actually I kind of have my own joke about that.
Really?
Oh, I think cuter animals taste better. Like, I can only imagine
veal.
How veal exactly.
See, no,
rabbit stew is amazing. I think baby penguin, baby seal is probably just dynamite.
No, all right.
But anyways,
no, probably delicious. Yeah. So no, I was in college, and I had decided I gotta keep moving closer. I decided to not eat the cute animals.
Yeah.
And then there was a girl. Boy,
that's a story beginner right there, for sure.
And she was a vegetarian, and I had read some other stuff about, she was really into a writer who had some beliefs that if you have to kill your food, you are more prone to kill other people. It was kind of like meat not only is murder, meat turns you into murderers. It was really messed up, but it trains you to murder or something like that.
That's a stretch.
And I'm like, this is a big stretch. And I'm like, that's a stretch. But I never really thought about it except for the not eating cute animals thing. That I could go my entire life without the whole eating meat. I was capable of doing that. So then I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I did that for about a year and a half. And, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was being pretentious, but, in the beginning, you're telling everyone about your stuff, right? And I ran into someone who was vegan, and she convinced me that vegan was the way to go, vegetarian wasn't. So I'm like, oh, that's super cool. I could see where that's going. So I set my goal for New Year's of 1999. So as it was turning 1999, not quite into 2000 yet. And my New Year's resolution was I was going to become vegan. And so I did. And 10 years later, maybe even less than that, 5 years later, I kind of started questioning it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's great and all, but I could eat cheese and eggs or whatever. I'm okay with that. But she kept kind of nudging me, so I just said that. Sorry about that. I set that date. And I set that date, and 20 years later, I was still vegan. Probably at the 5-year mark, though, I'm not entirely sure this is for me, but, I'm here. And at the 10-year mark, I'm like, oh, I really don't think I believe this anymore. But, it was so hard to become vegan. So, so I became vegan. That first period.
I was going to say, can we back up just a little bit here? Hang on 1 second.
Is like a vegan substitute. I could have something that
Sure.
I was used to.
Yep.
And so consequently, I was meat and cheese sandwiches, but they weren't meat and cheese.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So your diet didn't necessarily improve, just that the source of the processed thing was vegetable based instead of animal based.
It was just as unhealthy and just as lazy.
Sure.
So
okay.
So then when I became vegan, it was pretty much the same, and this is 20 years, 19 years, 18 years in, right near the end. I'm going to the doctor because I'm turning 40 for the first time, and I need a physical. And
you're going to turn 40 a second time?
Well, no, sorry.
No.
The first one you really need to get when you turn a certain age.
Yeah, I will be turning 40 in November. I'm not looking forward to that. But we know what you mean. But yeah, you're going to be like a lady and have more than one 40th.
Yeah, no.
Turn 40 3 times.
I should turn 39 3 times. But so I go there, and I will tell you, that's when they start doing the cholesterol and telling you what it is. And my cholesterol was good. And later I'd figure out I hadn't had cholesterol in my diet in 20 years.
Sure.
Because cholesterol is
animal based.
other than no. Yeah, it's animal based.
Well, it's
it has to
fat-based.
be in something. It's what based?
Or it's fat based anyways.
So
because I want to say it's like there would be cholesterol in like avocado.
Yeah, but that'd be
oils.
That'd be an HDL instead of an LDL.
Yeah, there's two different. Yep.
Yeah. So that would be one of the good ones. So
sure.
Yeah, there isn't any bad cholesterol in the vegan diet. So, and I'm still just a hair on that LDL where you're supposed to be below 100. I'm at 103, but it's not terrible. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's because the body makes cholesterol itself. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure which organ does. And it just turns out genetically you can kind of get the losing straw and you get the cholesterol thing going on. Yep. And even if you are vegan. So, So where was I? Cholesterol-based, cholesterol-free diet. Mm-hmm. So I did have good benefits. I had a good blood pressure, stuff like that.
Sure.
So that was worth it. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, everything else, I've always had a weight issue, had a gut. It's a little bigger now than it usually is. Mm-hmm. So I guess.
Do you eat a lot of artificial sweeteners at all?
Yes. Oh, yeah, almost exclusively.
See, then that's
Diet
something
Coke's my fave.
I just picked up a Diet Coke habit like a few months ago. And like
it's so hard.
And I was like, oh, I would rather have, and I didn't drink much soda, but now I'm drinking a lot of Diet Coke. And I think it's like my t-shirts don't fit as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
like I think I'm just getting bloated from it.
it probably does.
Yeah, like I think that's a for real issue is just like inflammation. Yeah, and then you're retaining all that water and everything
Yeah.
too. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna do an elimination diet here, hopefully for like the next week, where it's just meat, vegetables, fruit, nuts,
Trying
eggs,
to figure out what you
and coffee and water.
Yeah.
So like everything will be directly from the earth or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing processed at all. No dairy. Well,
Yeah.
I'll probably actually have. I'll probably include Greek yogurt into that for probiotics.
I've never actually had Greek yogurt.
Fat.
That became a thing after I became vegan.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really appealing to me anyway, looking at it. But back when I was vegan, there was a silk yogurt, which was a lot like, it was very similar to the like Yoplait or whatever.
Sure.
But, and that was okay, but they only made it for a couple years and then they stopped, as happens to a lot of things that are vegan.
Right.
That especially when you find something you can eat.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Greek yogurt wasn't really a thing. It was came in after, and I, whatever. But there was other things that like pulled pork. I never had, that wasn't like a thing, at least in my realm, until after I was vegan. And and there was some apparently a few exciting Doritos flavors. But that's. Yeah.
So, all right. So you went to the doctor before.
Oh yeah.
Before you before you stopped being vegan. You were vegan when you turned 40.
I was vegan
and
when
got all that blood work and everything.
News.
Yeah, got all that blood work and everything.
Time since then, I've went back and it's not as good. It changed a lot.
Yeah.
Cholesterol went up a ton. Stuff like that, and just not feeling as well. And so I guess what I'm thinking is there's probably something to being vegan, but and it's a little easier to live in the world when you're not vegan, you know. And I kind of miss that because suddenly you're the one who's like has to dictate the restaurants because and they're kind enough to let you pick, and you're like, we're going to Taco John's again, or it's always going to something Mexican or Asian because they have stuff you can eat, and maybe they want a steak dinner, want to go to a steak dinner place. Yeah.
So, what kind of diet have you had in the last year then, since you stopped being vegan? Just kind of everything.
It started out with, it was really good at meat and meat, eggs, veggies, fruit. I was eating a pretty balanced diet because on some level I also wanted to quit being vegan to be healthier.
Yeah.
But just to have more protein in my diet and stuff like that, especially as I'm getting older and probably need it. But in the beginning, I kind of was eating healthier. I wasn't losing weight or anything, but then after a while, you slip into old habits. So I guess eating meat again was to be healthier at the same time, since I was being more careful about my diet. I was feeling better, stuff like that. But I just slipped back into the old.
Sure.
I'm gonna eat junk food, not ham. Hardee's is like this weakness. It just is.
Yeah.
You'd be a weakness too if you were open like when I was done with work, or I'd swing out here.
So, so did you see? Okay, so your blood work was down, but did you see like any weight loss or any gain in energy or anything when you went from being vegan to eating meat and vegetables?
I saw a little loss in weight, but it's whenever I take those time to become conscious of my health and weight. Are times when I lose weight. So I guess those have not changed. Becoming vegan, not becoming vegan, I always have had those. I've always have had those times where I dip down in weight when I'm becoming healthy. So because that coincided with becoming non-vegan this time. It seemed like it, but really the pattern's just the same.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, like, how active is your lifestyle? Did your doctor get on you about that at all?
Not a whole lot, but it's not. Especially lately, it's been desk job for a while, and then, but you're still exhausted when you come home because you're in 6 meetings a day, and it's mentally exhausting. Yeah, and
for sure.
And that will physically knock you out too. So, yeah, not very active.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Geez, that. I when I turned 30, I got on a scale, and or I was 31, and I got on the scale, and just before 31. Anyways, getting lost in this, I was 276 pounds at like 5'8" with like a narrow frame. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, that's when I didn't really want to look at diet very much. I rather wanted to look at like, what can I do to solve this problem, like via exercise.
Yeah.
And so that's where my journey sort of began, where like at 30 years old, seeing all that weight, being in, 2X L t-shirts.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, 42 waist, and like they're getting tight, and you don't need a belt to hold them up anymore. It was like, So I mean, I'm only down 40 pounds, but I'm down, to XL t-shirts and like 36 waist.
Yeah.
So I've had quite a bit of muscle too.
Yeah.
In that time frame, but I tell you that was the biggest thing for me. And I tend to like just do some exercise right away in the morning. That's my best thing. Like I get up and I stretch, and I do sort of a little morning routine, gets the blood flowing, gets the metabolism going. And I tell you, that was the biggest life changer for me. And then
I'm sorry.
he's got his cell phone on.
Silence. I thought it was silence, but
So yeah, I've experimented with many different diets, but basically I just learned more and more about food. Especially I was like probably a year or so later, I was like, what the hell? Like I'm a damn chef, and I'm not even looking through this like weight loss like through a food lens, just because out of pure stubbornness,
Yeah.
So I started to learn more and more about like what foods how they actually affect your body.
Yeah.
So I learned, like foods to eat to, raise your testosterone level, and things that would increase your estrogen level.
Yeah,
and da-da-da, so I kind of learned like the basics, of like things I would need for, what I wanted to accomplish. And I still eat a lot of trash food, but it's so much better. And if I hadn't changed my diet at 276 9 years ago, how much would I weigh now? Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because the trash diet, it's not just because it's good, because we know
it's convenient.
It's convenient,
yeah.
and it's so easy to just skip lunch and grab a candy bar, or, I mean. It's tough, and it's always there. It's always I'll do this. I don't have time to make something healthy. It'd be nice if healthy was just as convenient as a candy bar was.
Yeah.
But,
well, in some cases it really is, and that's what I focused on. Like like being a bachelor at that time, it was like food and being a cook.
Yeah.
I don't want to come home and cook and do dishes again.
Yeah.
So it was like food that I don't have to cook.
Yeah.
So it was getting away from sandwiches and, chips and Doritos. And, it was like Greek yogurt, boom, out of the can into the man, hummus and vegetables, celery and peanut butter.
Yeah.
The celery is actually really good for men. It like increases your testosterone and your pheromones. It's
interesting.
Yeah.
I agree that if you can have those things convenient, they are, but in a lot of places they aren't. I go down to my gift shop at work all the time, and you've got all these convenient candy bars and chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I can't get it there, so. if I could, I'd eat more, but. Or maybe that's just an excuse.
Well,
yeah, it probably is, but that's an excuse you tell yourself.
Every ability to bring your own lunch with you, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I have a fridge in my office.
Yeah,
but,
there you go, man.
I don't put that effort in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Something to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I looked at my diet, like say at age 31, to do something about it. I guess after your blood works, when you
I
thought about it for the first time, it was 9 years later.
My peak low is
9 years different in age.
Yeah. Sometime around 30, I finally looked at it and really no, it wasn't even 30. When was it? I was like 25. And I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, it's too high. And I went on a diet. I don't know if it was healthy or not. One of those counted calories in one of those Weight Watcher calorie books or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I made it. I lost 100 pounds in half a year.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was doing great. It took me a long time to put that back on, but eventually I did. Mm-hmm. But I got down to below what I was in high school. So that was... And that was nice. I mean, it was nice to just walk into a store and have no trouble finding something in the size you want.
Yeah. Do you know the actor Ethan Suplee? And you probably know him.
What's he in?
He was in American History X. He was a really big guy. He was in My Name Is Earl. He was in Mallrats. American History X.
So I probably saw him. He's
he was
a background character.
Really big guy.
You mean
really
in Wade?
Guy.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes, yeah.
Schooner guy in.
Exactly. The Schooner guy in Mallrats.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. He he has a podcast that he just started. He is buff as hell right now.
Really?
I was listening to one of his podcasts earlier this week, and he was saying how he had lost over 1,000 pounds,
back and forth.
And I think he was close to 500 pounds at his heaviest. And he is absolutely jacked now. He is a big believer in the keto diet.
I tried it. I mean, it works. I can't eat enough fat to be technically keto, though.
Yeah, that was my problem, too. It was definitely it was hard to maintain that high of a fat diet. But, I definitely found a high protein, high vegetable diet, which that's super, super low in carbs, just works really, really well for me. But, I do a fair amount of exercise, especially if I'm that kind of diet, too. I'll try to get in as many weight sets as I can. I got a little rotator cuff issue that I'm in physical therapy for right now, so I haven't been able to lift weights since October. It's balls.
Oh, that's...
Oh, yeah, I miss it so bad. It's all cardio right now. So, but, yeah.
So, I guess overall... I think I wanted to come back from being vegan for kind of selfish reasons.
Sure.
Simplicity, to live, to be able to try new things. It'd been so long since, and you see the world you see outside of college when you're traveling or whatever, and you get to see the world and the things you want to try, the fancy ice cream at the fancy casino or whatever. But you just want to try those things, that are finally available to you. And so that's why I did it. I don't think it was healthier, though I get more protein, but I don't know. And I've thought about going back to being vegan, and I'll try this a little while longer, but or at least more vegetarian. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I think when you get into that heavily processed food, it's and just sort of eating, that trashy diet. It doesn't matter if it's vegetarian, vegan, or carnivore. It's
Well,
you could you could eat bologna all day, and that's not a good high protein diet,
right? And honestly, being vegan was kind of an out for a lot of that stuff. I walked into the gas station and I couldn't have the candy bar, right?
Yep.
So I had to find something different,
Yeah.
or like a granola bar, which is still not a whole lot better. But
Yeah.
so it kind of kept you from eating as conveniently,
Yeah.
which was a benefit, I think.
Yep.
And it would help, I think, if I did it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm going to do this elimination diet, where basically it's going to be like, if you can't grow it, kill it, or forage for it.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose mushrooms, I'll include mushrooms.
Why do you
but yeah.
choose that to go with it? Why is it
well,
you mean like no synthetics?
Yep, yeah, that's exactly. So yeah, what I'm going to eat for the next 7 days minimum is meats, as long as it's not dried.
Yeah.
Right. Cured, I'll eat, but not dried. Right. So no jerky where there's a ton of sugar and stuff in it. Vegetables, fruit.
Yeah.
Fermented Greek yogurt.
Oh, right on.
Right, because it's fermented. Fermented dairy. I wouldn't eat, pasteurized dairy. Vegetables, Greek yogurt. Vegetables would obviously then include basically anything plant-based. So nuts, legumes, beans, and then eggs and mushrooms. And that would be about it. So, I'll still be able to eat conveniently, nuts, peanuts, peanut butter, and celery, raw fruit, raw vegetables, carrot sticks, etc. Eggs cook really fast. Yogurt, boom, out of the can and into the man, So yeah, I think my biggest thing is from my diet, I don't think my body responds well to sugar, period,
right,
or artificial
sugar,
or artificial sweeteners.
And I've heard that, I not any, scholarly articles or anything, but it's definitely probably a thing. So.
Keto, and before that Atkins. It seems like if you cut out the sugar and the refined grains, that goes a long way for a lot of people. And I've basically done that before, but it's been like I said, keto or Atkins or something like that. So I'm gonna create my own much more restricted elimination diet, where it's basically if you can't kill it or forage for it or grow it, I can't eat it. So I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for the next 7 days. That'll be exciting. It might be longer because I do pretty good with fasting too. So I might do like a really high protein and do some long fasts, 16, 18-hour fasts, and actually get my body into ketosis and just kind of flush my body those carbs too. I think that artificial sweetener is, because I haven't seen any gain in weight. Yeah. But I definitely have less room in my t-shirts. So I think it's seriously
less room,
less room.
Yeah,
so it's seriously just like bloating from Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe I should try cutting out. My problem is I have trouble getting caffeine from coffee because I don't like coffee.
Oh, I love coffee. I drink it all day. So
literally the only caffeine source that I like is soda. Sure. And so if I cut out soda, I cut out caffeine, which is
there's a much simpler cheaper route to go. Actually,
what's that?
Caffeine pills.
No.
Yeah.
I've taken a caffeine pill once. Years ago. I was working overnights, and I took it. I went to work, and I just about died. My body just didn't handle it. Oh, well, even that, yeah.
Well, you got to check what kind you got.
Well, my girlfriend was taking them, and I asked her how many she was taking. She said, well, I take 2, but maybe just 1.
But how many milligrams was it, though? Because that's the important thing.
I don't know. She was taking 2. She was fairly healthy.
That's like weed edibles. 1 or 2. Is it 50 milligrams or is it 5,000 milligrams?
And I should have asked.
Because I've had the 2 that I seem to always find is it's like 10 milligrams, so it's like 2 cups of coffee, or it's like 100 milligrams. So it's like 10 cups of
Yeah.
coffee.
Well, no. Did you hear something?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I assumed she was taking them. She was smaller than me, so if she could take 2, 1 should be, not too much. But it just hit me like a truck. So, yeah. So I'm not a big caffeine pill fan. I don't know what my options are. I don't even like cold coffee really.
Oh,
Is it be
man.
like maybe a tea, but I'm not a huge. If they could put it in a juice or just flavorless, I mean, I'd drink it as.
There's this stuff called Joe Water, too.
Do they still make that?
I think so.
Well, maybe I should try that. I haven't
As far as
seen
I
it
know.
in years, though.
Really?
Probably get it on Amazon. Water Joe is what it was called.
Yep, Water Joe. Yeah, it was just caffeinated water. It had like a little slight chemical-y, aftertaste. But it wasn't that bad. And it definitely had caffeine in it, that's for sure.
See what Amazon says about Water Joe, and I'm pretty sure it was Water Joe.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, my food purveyor just brought, or my one of my drink distributors just brought me a sample of it this past summer. I should have bought the damn stuff, actually.
Yes.
So,
oh yeah, no, they still make it.
sure they do.
I can get some number of bottles for. I hope it's per. It's a 12-pack for like $20. It's not
That's
a
not bad.
great deal,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, anything else that you wanted to add to your story about journeys through veganism?
I'd say do it. Like, if you're thinking about it, try it. It's, I'll tell you, going in is a little harder on the ingestive and system, but going out was actually way easier.
Yeah.
So, which sounds terrible, but yeah, I think but try it. It's not too bad through the intestinal system and stuff, but don't force yourself to do 20 years. I mean, that was the big mistake. So
Sure.
all right,
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, John. Appreciate it.
all right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.